in historic Hayward Field, getting ready for this first final of this session, this penultimate day of the track and field trials. The men's 5,000 metres, and one outstanding name out there, of course, Galen Rupp, so popular in these parts. I'm joined now by Craig Masbach. Craig, Galen is indeed special.
Well, already the Olympic team member for the marathon and for the 10,000 meters. UTEM had questioned the wisdom of coming back and running this 5,000 meters. I believe it's a good way for him to get a little sharpening, a little speed work. Of course, his goal is to win the race. He's the trials record holder, but he's got a tough assignment today.
Well, he has got a tough assignment, in particular against this man, Ryan Hill, who is many people's favourite, the bronze medalist, silver medalist, I should say, at the World Indoor Championships over 3,000 metres, and Craig, the defending champion.
Yeah, he ran a sub 4-minute mile for the last 4 laps to win last year's national championships. After the trial race on Monday, he went back to altitude in Park City, just got back here last night for this race. So he is definitely focused in a way on this race that Galen Rupp can't be, given the fact he's already run the 10,000.
Another name to look for is Ben True. He was very disappointed with his 11th place in the 10,000 metres last weekend and says this is very much his preferred distance.
Yeah, said he doesn't really like the 10,000, and Ben True is a great closer like Ryan Hill, the man on the right there. They both can finish very quickly.
Big question mark is whether or not anybody will take it out through the first half. Championship racing in the middle distances, and indeed over 5,000, tends to be slow and meandering for at least the first half. Now this is 12 and a half laps, but there are so many men in this field, Craig, in particular, who really fancy themselves as milers come 5,000 metre runners. Bernard Lagat, we haven't even mentioned yet, he's in the middle of the pack there. He's the second fastest man in history at 1,500 metres. He might be 41, but he can still close.
41 years old, and he finished the qualifying race with a 53 last lap, an incredible race. He said that for this race he's going to listen carefully. He thought he made a lot of mistakes in the 10,000 meters, and his coach is positioned by the side of the track and will give him instructions on what to do in this race. Now, you would think he wouldn't need it given his veteran status, but even at age 41, his coach James Lee is helpful to helping him make his way through this race.
Well, Woody Kincaid leads at the moment. He's one of the few in this field who do not have the 13 minutes 25 second Olympic standard. Chalimo in second, Garrett Heath in third, Hassan Mead, the #1 American this year, in fourth place. And he's got some unfinished business as well, Craig, Hassan Mead, because in that green strip, he dropped out of the 10,000 on Sunday.
You know, you really could call this a race of redemption for Mead, Lagat, and True, each of whom had bad races in the 10,000 meters when they were expected to do better. Hassan Mead, who went to the University of Minnesota, trains here on this track with the Oregon Track Club, and as you mentioned, has the fastest time of the year by any American in this distance, the 5,000 meters.
Well, let's check in with Todd Harris, and just under 2 kilometers to go. That's just under 5 laps in this men's 5,000 meters final. And Paul Chalimo made a big surge 300 meters back to close up on the leaders, Schrader and Kincaid, who at one point had a 7-second lead. Lopez Lomong in red there leads the chasing pack in 4th place. But now Galen Rupp realizing with just over a mile to run, Craig, that he needs to start making his move. That gap was too big.
Well, Tim, they had the worst possible guy leading the second pack, Lopez Lomong, who's not a 5,000 meter runner by nature. He's only been running 800 meter races this year, not even so fast at that, and he wasn't doing anything to take the rest of the group up towards the front. And once Chalimo went to the front group, then there was danger, because Chalimo is an outstanding 3,000 meter runner, showed that by making the World Championship final. Chalimo now with the group that's about to be caught by Galen Rupp, who's followed by all the favorites that we talked about at the top of the show.
Well, it was a brave move by Schrader and Kincaid, but it was always doomed to failure. Chalimo in second, indeed third place now, as Rupp hits the front for the first time. This will be an interesting last mile. He's got just over 3.5 laps to run, and now the racing is on, and this is exactly what Rupp did in the majority of his US titles. There's been so many of them. He takes control middle, latter stages and just surges strongly. He doesn't leave it down to a sprint. He makes it a strong man's run for home, even though this is all happening in the last mile.
And you've got to be a very, very strong mental composure to deal with this. You know exactly what he's going to do, as you say. He's going to be relentless from this point until the end of the race. 3 full laps to go, and that's a hard, long run. Even though I said that Ryan Hill, who's coming up on the shoulder of Chelimo now in third place, ran under 4 minutes for the last 4 laps a year ago to win the race. It's still hard running all this way out.
Well, all the big names gathering towards the front of that chasing pack behind Galen Rupp. Ben True amongst them. Lewis.
Well, I'm up here with Sarah True. Ben True trying to make his first Olympic team. You are on your way to Rio on your second team in women's triathlon. But how are your nerves watching this race unfold here?
You know, I have a lot of confidence in Ben. He's a tremendous competitor, but this field is so strong. Obviously, I want him to qualify for his first Olympic team and to be able to have that experience with me. But yeah, I'm incredibly nervous right now, as you can tell.
And what's the year been like as you all prepared for this run to get to the games together?
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate because I was able to qualify last August.
You can stand up.
Yeah, so I had a little bit more time, and you know, really this winter and spring has been about getting Ben on this team. So hopefully it happens today.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Nerves are heavy over here, Tim.
They're pretty high in the box here, I can tell you, as Rupp comes towards the line with 2 laps to run. He's got about a 25-meter lead. I'm amazed nobody has covered this surge from Rupp. But on the other hand, there's a strong belief that Rupp, should he make one of the first 3 spots, will not take a spot in Rio in this discipline. He's already nailed spots, remember, in the marathon and the 10,000. So that pack behind are probably fighting for 3 places. That's why I think, Craig, they're regarding it as almost a separate race. They seem to be ignoring Galen.
That's a terrible way to run, though. You know, you do your best running when you're racing to win. Racing to get a place, yes, it matters in this meet of all meets to get one of the top 3 places or one of the places that will go to the Olympics, but to concede the victory to Rupp, and he's now only about 500 meters away from that victory, doesn't seem wise to me. You should be racing to win the race and make the team while you do that.
Well, such has been the nature of this race. We've hardly mentioned Ryan Hill, the defending champion, who was many people's favorite. He's in the red there, back in about 5th place. As you can see, Rupp leads from Chelimo, Mead, Lagat. Ben True is there as well at the front of that one. This is going to be a storming last lap from these men as they are led through there by Paul Chelimo, the chasing pack, with Ben True in 2nd place. Hassan Mead in 3rd place, in the pack that is, now closing rapidly on Galen Rupp. Has he got the legs over this final 300?
I don't think so, given the way he went to the lead. As you see, Chelimo, the man with great turnover on the backstretch, and Ryan Hill is not closing. Ryan Hill has got to get on the back of that pack up ahead of him if he's going to have a chance, as it's Hassan Mead that leads the chase of Chelimo.
Chelimo leading, Hassan Mead in 2nd place, Bernard Lagat at the age of 41 in 3rd place, Ben True in the red there in 4th now, and on his shoulder coming through as well, looking really strong, just in front of, boy oh boy, Ryan Hill is out of it, he's not going to make the team. Bernard Lagat is going to take it, Mead in the green in 2nd place, and look at the charge there for that 3rd spot, but Chelimo takes it, and Bernard Lagat has taken another US title. That is historic. That's surely, for the man who does his training down in Tucson, Arizona, and the US record holder to boot at the age of 41, is a unique achievement. That 1,500 meter speed is still in those legs, Craig.
52 seconds over the last lap. Who would have thought it at age 41? I saw his wife Gladys on the way into the stadium tonight. She had her fingers crossed. There are 2 kids with him. So disappointed after that 10K. He just didn't know what happened. Some were surprised that he even came back to run this 5K. They thought that would be his last race, and it's far from his last race based on that kind of finish.
The way that event unfolded is one of the weirdest 5,000s I have ever seen. I have to say, with athletes of that caliber, aplenty in the field, men who have broken 13 minutes, run world-class times, taken medals at major championships. You are, though, looking at the ultimate racer in the figure of Bernard Lagat. He's renowned for his astonishing race tactics, which have taken him to medals again and again. We forget twice he's been an Olympic medalist at 1,500 meters in years gone by. Let's take another look at that move.
And people said, you know, why are you doing it? And he says, I still enjoy it. That's why I'm out there. He takes a methodical, professional approach, and he moved up onto the shoulder of Mead, probably never dreaming that he could get into 1st place at this point.
But great to have a target like Chelimo there. It's so much better to have something to aim at. And Lagat there with that famous form of his, dragging Mead through, but ahead of Chelimo. Eric Jenkins there, diving for the line, but I fear will have finished 4th. Galen Rupp finishing back in 9th place. The big question mark many will be asking is just what happened to Ryan Hill in that one. He was down and out, back in 6th place.
Yeah, going down the backstretch, he was just too far detached from that lead pack that had started the sprinting. It seemed to be set up perfectly for him, but in the end, he couldn't manage to get around the other guys in that last 200 meters.
Well, Ben True finished down in 5th place. That again, a big disappointment. And Sarah True there, well, understandably heartbroken. She will not be joined by her husband, at least as a TUSA team member in Rio. What extreme emotions unfolding on screen here as Bernard Lagat, quite a story. This man at the age of 41 still has the legs. Can you believe it? He was planning on making this his last ever track season. Let's check out the result of that one. The US Olympic trials 5,000 meters, won by Bernard Lagat, Hassan Mead, and Chelimo there taking 3rd place, Paul Chelimo. Eric Jenkins missing out by 6/100ths of a second. That is more or less the thickness of your vest. Ben True and Ryan Hill in 5th and 6th will be absolutely destroyed by missing out. Well, let's go down to Bernard Lagat with Lewis Johnson when he's finished hugging the family, I guess.
Yes. Bernard, at 41, stay here, Mika. At 41, can you imagine what you just accomplished?
You know what, though? I had no surprise. I mean, I had a lot of confidence. There's no surprise what I did today because I've been training hard. I wanted to come and execute. My coach, man, he's genius. He told me to be relaxed, be patient, and I did that. And you know what? I couldn't believe I was catching the guys in front. Younger guys than me, man. God is great. I love this.
Bernard, you say you're not surprised, but your emotion says something else. You've been out of your mind the last few minutes.
Yes,
explain that.
Because the thing is, to make not just 1, but 5 Olympics, man. You know what? This is unbelievable. I got these guys to support me. Let me tell you, and I dropped out at pre-400 Classic. I dropped out in the 10K, and I didn't want to do that in front of these fans. That was not doing them justice. And you know what? I'm so glad I won for them today.
Well, you have electrified this crowd, and we will see you in Rio for Olympics number 5.
Thank
Congratulations.
You so much. Oh, yes.
What a moment, like a fine wine. He gets sweeter with age. That's the most animated I've ever seen Bernard Lagat. Did he enjoy that one? When we come back, world record holder